welcome to The Problem With. I'm Dan, with me is Jon. Wow. You might not have known, but Jon just deep-throated his mic.
I'll fucking do it again.
Don't, oh, okay.
You know you love it.
Welcome to our new home.
Let's try it again. Yeah, we had to make a little adjustment.
We got a
New channel.
We got a new channel, and we got more friends.
Yeah.
Finally, it's not just the two of us.
Right? Well, you'll
Just
probably
the two
still
of us.
just. We can make it if you can.
Oh,
So I don't remember what the actual progression for that one is. I think it is a fucking. Is it a major third? I don't know. I'm not getting into music theory.
Wow, that went right over my fucking head.
Good. I'm glad that basic music theory is such a bitch for you, because then I can make fun of you. Good.
That's okay, because I think we talked about this, but we have different values when it comes to music.
Yeah, significantly.
I'm a big hippie guy where it's like, no, the music, you have to feel the music,
just
man.
fucking vibe with it, bro.
You just gotta vibe
which
with
I
the-
get. I totally understand.
And
creating
you
music.
are like very much. I think it comes with being an actual musician.
For me, there is a science to creating, writing, and playing music. It's math. It's all math.
Yeah,
And
that
for most-
I
and
do
most
not
peop-
see music like that.
Most people, yeah, and honestly, you don't need to. You can still make great fucking music without knowing the first thing about music theory. You don't even know. You don't even need to know fucking note names. That's like the first thing anybody learns, and you don't even need to know those. And you can still make great fucking music. Like, there's great blind fucking composers and shit. Like, oh my god, what's his fucking name? Fucking the blind piano player. What's his fucking name?
Oh my god. Did he make Supernatural?
Superstitious.
Superstitious? It's on the fucking tip of my tongue, too.
Fuck it.
It's not Billy Joel.
Hit the road, Jack. You did that one too, huh?
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, same guy.
Ooh.
But yeah, he probably couldn't tell you the first. Well, he probably can't tell you much of anything now. I don't think he's still with us. Is he?
I have no idea.
I have
I'm
no
not
idea.
going to say either way.
Yeah, but no, like music theory, it's a whole thing. But you don't need to know any of it to make great fucking music. Actually, a better example: Nirvana. They make great fucking music. None of those guys.
Well,
can tell you
I did
anything
hear
about it.
a lot of people before Nirvana really hit it big. A lot of people were like, "Wow, Kurt Cobain fucking sucks."
Yeah, well, that's just because they suck. And not Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain was fucking phenomenal and way ahead of his time. Like, the guy is genuinely what I had to keep saying was an artist. And he, because his whole thing wasn't necessarily like making instrumental, because like fucking anybody can play fucking, like, that is the most basic 4-chord progression you could possibly do. It's the fucking lyrics that he wrote into it. It's like the songwriting, the lyrics, those were where the art was.
See, and I was talking about people were like, wow, he sings like ass.
He does. He's not a very good
terrible
singer, but he's a great lyricist.
That is the part that everyone was like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's
like you can't deny that
I don't like
writes
Nirvana.
great. Yeah.
Hot take. But like anytime I hear "Smell Like Teen Spirit," I always headbang to it. But everything else, I think, was
it is the tried and true grunge standard, and honestly, I can never take that away from them.
I want to talk about grunge here for a second because
okay.
It's so weird looking back at the early 90s and how everything was grunge.
Yeah,
and then 5 years later, nothing was grunge.
It comes with the territory of making music
as
in the mainstream.
But like, we don't. Example: hair metal was basically a 5-year popular, but we still hear it on the radio.
Yeah.
But with grunge, you only hear "Smell Like Teen Spirit."
You'll hear Nirvana
and some of Rage Against the Machine.
I would hardly call Rage grunge. I would actually probably call them
new metal.
Not new metal, but definitely metal. They are a form of probably alt metal. Just something. It's a little different because that's such a vague terminology. Like if I said new metal, that's also really vague.
Well,
if I said heavy metal,
I think everybody accepts the idea that new metal is rap mixed with metal.
Yeah, that I can totally agree with. Like Linkin Park, that's
new metal.
hybrid of new metal with some of their own stuff going on.
Crazy Train.
Yeah.
Come, my lady.
Oh God, it's so fucking weird.
It's so weird. Have you seen the music video of that?
I have. It's
oh
fucking.
my God,
it's so
it's
terrible.
So beautiful.
I
love that.
Music videos can be art, but that one is not.
That like these greasy new metal like guys who were in and out.
Had to be greasy, by the way.
Who were in and out of drug rehab centers.
For some reason, every single person in Limp Bizkit looks like they just left Taco Bell like 3 minutes ago. It is the
Limp
funniest.
Bizkit is also a new metal.
Limp Bizkit. Fucking, I hate them so goddamn much.
See, that was.
But I will never.
That's what took over after grunge left was new metal.
So, as far as rock goes, yeah. But there were also like the big musical standards. For example,
ska came back.
Ska came back for a brief time. But after we had ska, we had crunk. And crunk was, first of all, the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like Little John and all of those motherfuckers. Yeah. He is like the fucking lead singer from Metallica, but not as cool. Because he also does the thing.
Which is a very low bar.
Yeah. How do you
I am not
what's his name? Kirk Hammett?
Something like that.
Another
hot take.
Totally different guy.
Not a Metallica fan.
I only like two of their albums.
I don't even
Master of Puppets and Justice for All. And maybe Ride the Lightning.
The only one that I know is Saint Anger, just to piss off Spencer.
Saint Anger
is the worst album they've ever made.
Literally, if it was just mixed properly, it wouldn't be that bad.
The drum, tink,
the snare drum in that album sounds like literally like a tin can. It's so loud and so aggressive.
Just like it sounds like he was playing on a beer
trash can,
beer keg.
Yeah. It's awful.
Get it.
It's so dumb. Like, and you know what the worst part is? Back then, it was probably intentional. They probably thought that was the craziest new sound that they created.
It's so hard and it's edgy and super.
Because it was the mid-2000s. Everybody wanted to be edgy and hard. Because My Chemical Romance was doing shit like that.
Yeah.
And then Metallica comes up with Saint Anger, and it's like, what the
and
fuck?
Metal lost every credibility it could ever have.
Yeah, like I don't even think Anthrax started doing anything after that. After Metallica did that, they're like, we're just gonna go that way.
After Saint Anger, you will. There might. This is me speaking anecdotally, but I never heard a metal song on the top 100. Top 20 ever again.
I don't necessarily. Matter of fact, Rage Against the Machine's "Killing in the Name" has made it onto the top 20 multiple times.
Well,
since it first came out, which is weird. That shouldn't happen. But for some reason, every time Christmas comes around, whenever this is a weird thing. This is actually really niche information, but Simon Cowell is a prude. And he does the X Factor show in Britain still.
The douchebag.
Yeah, the douchebag.
Who was super popular in the 2000s.
So every time the holidays come around, he has one of the acts on X Factor or American Idol or whatever show he's doing anymore put together a Christmas album or a Christmas song. And everybody works on it. And it's supposed to be this big production. And then metal fans were like, I'm so fucking tired of these goddamn fucking dumbass songs every Christmas skyrocketing to number one because of this artificially fucking conflated bullshit.
Yeah.
So let's all listen to Rage Against the Machine's "Killing in the Name" for like 2 months straight.
From what I hear,
it is the coolest story in music history.
The top 20 is complete.
Almost
all of it
bullshit.
Is complete bullshit.
Yep.
There's those one or two odd ones that somehow get to the top just from word of mouth, but most of it is artificial.
You'll find some stuff.
Most
in the
of
top
it's
20.
AstroTurf.
Yeah. You'll find some stuff in the top 20 that's like pretty good, but occasionally you'll get stuff from the mainstays, like fucking Ariana
Maroon
Grande,
5.
Maroon 5.
How
Guaranteed.
has Maroon 5 survived since the early 2000s?
Yeah. It's all the front man. It's all that for what's his name?
Adam Levine.
Adam Levine, yeah. Because back in the day,
Which, by the way, it came out that he cheated on his girlfriend.
Are you even
wife.
surprised?
I'm not, but it's funny because his DMs leaked.
Yep.
He is the worst
Holy fuck.
flirt
Holy
on
fucking fuck.
earth.
Your buddy is so.
Have you read some of them?
I have read all of them. And
he is the worst flirt.
He's not
ever.
even like those weren't flirts. He was being sent nudes.
Yeah,
and his responses were the most 8th grade fucking response you could possibly send to another person.
So stupid.
Holy fuck! He's such a dumbass. I love him. But I
actually listened to their earlier work. Fuck, they're good.
Yeah.
They were good at one time.
So you know what probably happened?
Like, Say Goodbye.
Studio trifling.
And also, they just got...
Or not studio, corporate trifling.
They got extremely corporate real fast.
Well, the problem is that whenever you sign to a music label, they have a very specific set of expectations. That expectation is do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again until the day that we inevitably kill you.
Imagine Dragons.
I hate... Or Nickelback. And I'll give Nickelback some credit.
They have brought it back a little bit.
They've brought it back, and their most recent song, San Quentin, honestly, kind of a banger.
See, and this is my thing. I'm tired of acting like Nickelback doesn't have great songs.
No, they have phenomenal songs.
For like 10 years, everyone was like, "Oh, Nickelback sucks." And whenever you say, "Oh, they got a couple of good songs," I like some of their albums.
They call you a dumbass for it.
Yeah, and it's like, what?
So the whole thing with Nickelback, the reason, and there is justification for the hatred, not the hatred, but for criticizing them, because a lot of their songs
are recycled.
Are not just recycled, but surface level. There is a song that they literally wrote called Sex. It is one of the worst fucking songs that I've ever listened to. And I'm sure that if I analyze it further, it would be pretty good if they were like trying to make a statement. But as far as I can tell, I can't fucking tell. It just sounds like shit.
Who's the band who made Sex on Fire?
Oh god, that...
Because that song is fucking lit.
Yeah.
Which I am surprised that...
I can't remember who did that one.
I want to say 3 Days Grace, but I don't think that's right.
Probably not. Oh, there is... We're going to cut the music talk here in just a minute.
Because I want to get to my topics. Which...
I have been listening to a lot of mid-2000s deep cuts recently. Or not deep cuts necessarily, but these are songs that we all listened to as kids on the radio when we were growing up. And I'm trying to find these songs because I remember briefly some of the riffs.
Dude.
And I'm like, fuck, I want to hear some of the shit.
You have no idea how many times I would just be doing work, and then I would just get a riff in my head just going and then immediately going, oh my god, what song is that? That's from the early 2000s. I need to listen to that song again. And it would just never come to me.
Right. That's the problem that I've been having recently. But I recently looked up just one of the lyrics to a song that I couldn't get out of my fucking head. And I'm like, what the fuck is this song? It's a song by a group that I never thought that I would even consider remotely good. Puddle of Mud.
Yep. I actually know what the song you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one. That song is called Blurry, and it is one of the most tragic fucking songs I've heard in the last couple of years.
Puddle of Mud is a strange band because they are a Christian rock band. And if anyone knows anything about Christian rock, it is one of the most sanitized, watered down, crappy genres you could ever be a part of. But Puddle of Mud is one of those bands, and also the band who made Face Down.
Oh, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are also a Christian band.
Yeah, that I remember. And the big shame with Red Jumpsuit is that that was their only hit.
Yep.
Everything
and
after that,
Puddle of Mud had
they actually have a few. They have Psycho, Blurry.
When the Rain Comes.
Yeah, they have a lot.
That's their biggest hit.
Yeah, they have a lot of really great songs, but because they have one of two brands. They're either it's gospel rock. Who wants to listen to that? Or they have a name like Puddle of Mud. It makes me think of Nickelback again.
Yeah,
like because they were around the same time and they were doing kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. This unique new rock that people just weren't quite ready for yet. Like, if this came out nowadays, this would be tame. If this came out in, like, the early 2010s, it would have been fucking huge. Like, around when Skillet was coming out.
Don't be hating on Skillet.
I'm not hating on Skillet. I'm saying Skillet timed their approach fucking perfectly.
Which I also think Skillet's also a Christian band. I think they were.
I think they either were or still are.
Because
either they didn't start out and then became, or they became.
Skillet is one of my favorite rock bands ever. Like, hold on.
I love most of their albums. I wasn't a fan of, was it Awake or Comatose? One of those two albums I remember listening to and thinking to myself, geez, this kind of seems bad.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. It was the one with the eye on it. I think there was Awake.
Oh, yeah. Awake is the one with Monster on it.
Yeah, I remember liking that song.
Unleashed is my favorite album from them.
Unleashed. Which one was that? Hold on. Let me look at it.
It is the 2016 album that they came out with.
I don't think I heard that one.
So it has
I must have missed
that. This entire album, in my opinion, only with a couple of options, a couple of songs that I just don't like, but most of it, gold.
Right.
Absolute gold. My favorite, it has my favorite song from them, the Resistance. My second favorite song from them, Back from the Dead. My third favorite song from them, Feel Invincible. And the rest of them are just like bangers.
Yeah.
This album is fucking amazing.
So I have a question for you before we transition to the next topic, because this won't be a transition. I have no idea what your topics are. So, is there a single album that you have listened to within like the last, literally whenever, that you think is composed of perfect songs? Like, there is not a single song that you would even consider skipping in any condition. Because I can only think of one. And it's not one by Metallica, because that's not their album. I think that's Master of Puppets. So.
No, not that one.
Yep.
Okay. This little band that just got pretty big, AJR.
AJR. Can't say I'm familiar. We probably talked about these guys at one point.
You've heard their song, Big Bang.
I don't listen to the radio, so probably... you can play it for me briefly. I can probably just cut it out.
Or you also probably heard their original famous song that got them big in 2014, I'm Ready. That sampled SpongeBob.
I
don't want to get contact matched.
Like I said, I'm not gonna... I'll probably just cut that out.
You have to have heard of this. It was all over...
Okay, this I've heard.
Yes. This band is my favorite band ever. So the album is called The Click.
Really?
This album, all 13 songs...
Back to back
are all bangers. Amazing.
Literally perfect.
Every single one.
So,
my favorite from them in this album. Oh, that's tough, actually. It's a tie between Drama and Buds Like You. If you want a really good, like, pub anthem with all your bros, like, you got a couple of beers in you and you're feeling good and you got friends and the banter's amazing. You throw this song on and just the entire bar plays.
Yep.
Start singing with you. It's amazing.
So,
Bud Like You is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Drama is the exact opposite. It's that song that you want to listen to when your entire friend group has beef with each other.
Uh-oh.
And it is also amazing. Sorry, I have to talk about this album because if I don't talk about it...
I'll never...
I'm Not Famous is another fucking amazing one.
I think I've No, I haven't. I heard a song similarly named.
Also, there is a song on here that makes me cry every fucking time I hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
That brings up another really interesting question.
Call My Dad is it's an a cappella song that they sing. And it's, well, I don't think it's fully a cappella, but most of it is. And it's all about after the party and you just raged out but you feel like shit afterwards and all you want to do is call your dad. I've had a couple of those mornings.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, fuck.
Right. I don't think there's a single song that gets me that emotional, but there are songs that get me fucking angry.
Oh, yeah.
And in a way that's like, oh, I just want to break something. It's like, no, I want to revolt.
Oh, yep.
So
a lot of Skillet songs are like that.
So, like I told you earlier, I told you this 1,000 times. If I haven't told you 1,000 times, I do not consider myself a left-leaning person.
No.
Socially, yes. Everything else, no. I am, at most, like a social libertarian. But there is an album by a far-left band. You already know them. It's Rise Against.
Yeah.
I just picked up literally my favorite album of all time from them. Of all time, period, the other week.
Yep.
The only album that I've ever considered perfect is Prayer of the Refugee. And I always thought that, like, Green Day's American Idiot was an album that I could listen from front to back.
Yeah.
There's one song in
of
there
songs
near the end that's just kind of like, this doesn't feel
It feels like
fitting.
filler.
Yeah. And then same thing with Welcome to the Black Parade. Every song on there is good except for Teenager. Yep.
Their most popular song.
I fucking hate Teenagers.
See,
and so do they, but
I'm not much of an album guy. Like,
yeah. You listen to individual songs.
I like
most
individual songs, but an album has to be like fucking amazing for me to pick it up. Yeah. That's why I only have like only 3 full albums on my iPhone right now. It's the AGR one, the Click, Skillet, the Unleash, and then the this one actually kind of disappoints me. Frank Sinatra's Best Work.
Oh yeah,
which it's so okay. I have to talk about it because I have this album. I have this album on vinyl, and the vinyl version, fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it's god tier because it's all of his best work, and it's all in date order when they come out. So you hear the progression of his
sound.
Evolution.
What was the name of the genre? Crooning, I think is what people describe it as.
Crooning or lounge bar singer,
something like that.
Something like that. It's kind of exact. It's kind of hard to nail it down, but something like that.
I think it's described as such. But yeah, anyway, continue on.
Yeah, but
so this other version.
So the one on iTunes. Totally different from the vinyl version. Even though they look the same, they have the same album art. Totally different. Do you know why? Because one of his most famous songs, "Come Fly With Me."
Oh.
On the vinyl version, it is the original version, the God tier version that everyone knows.
Yeah.
On the digital version, it's a remaster, which sucks.
Really?
Absolutely sucks.
I'm going to have to listen to these 2 versions separately.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Trust me, the vinyl version and the original version, amazing. This remaster, I skip it every time it comes up.
Oh my gosh.
It's awful.
That's
absolutely awful.
That's very
telling. And the rest of the album is all... I like his other stuff, but Frank Sinatra is one of those guys where his famous songs, that's what he's famous for. He's not very good at, like... A lot of his songs sound exactly the same because he was very limited in his range and his...
I wouldn't necessarily call his range limited as far as like vocal range.
No, like his lyricism is limited.
That's where he's going to struggle. He's got some great lyrics, but unfortunately he
has a couple of amazing songs and they're all on the vinyl version.
Yeah. This
one's full of like... some of them are awesome.
These are what we call deep cuts.
Yeah, these are the deep cut ones where they're good, but they're not what I wanted.
But people don't know them.
They're good. I listen to them, but it's not what I wanted from it.
And I understand that. As a matter of fact, I had that same experience with an album that I picked up. We are carrying this one on for a while. We'll finish it here. I bought the Fleetwood Mac 50-year anniversary album. It is a 5-disc LP, like 5 fucking vinyls in one big fucking box.
Yep.
That goddamn
Yep.
big. Has most of their songs over the last 50 years, including the ones that people don't like. And on vinyl, it has 50 songs, 50 years, 50. It's 50. And then their CD version, which there was only one release of, there was not a second release for like the rest of the songs, only had like 20.
Ugh.
And I'm like, you cut out like all the good ones because you also had to include the shit albums that nobody liked.
Oh yeah,
Like Rumors.
like
No.
like Fleetwood
love
Mac.
Rumors.
I'm not as big as a fan of you. I like them, but I don't like them as much as you.
Yeah, no,
Like
I'm
Break
definitely
the
a bit
Chain
of a
is probably my favorite from them.
Yeah, the Chain's good.
The Chain. Yeah.
They're all great. I can't complain about any of their songs. Anyway, we are now
Okay.
25 minutes into this
Segue.
discussion. Let's segue.
Now for something completely different. So a movie is coming out,
Okay.
and it's making some controversies.
I have not been keeping up with movie discourse recently.
Okay, so
I'm sure
a
you-
movie has been coming. A movie has come out called The Woman King. It is a movie about a indigenous tribe of African female warriors.
Okay.
And so far so good, right? So the entire premise is that this group of female warriors are defending their homeland from invading European invaders, right?
Yeah.
We're protecting our people from the white man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
So
all
far, I'm
about
on board.
female empowerment. All of the main characters are black female actors.
Sounds like Amazonians.
Yep, one of their I don't remember the name of the warriors, but that's one of the names
comparisons that
given
people draw.
to them. And this tribe actually existed.
Yeah. Mind you, I have never fucking heard of this movie. I turned my body to an audience that isn't there.
Yeah.
Mind you, I have never fucking heard of
Okay.
this film. So do on.
So, that's the premise of this movie. One tiny, itty bitty little problem. It's complete bullshit.
Of course. Most
This
films are.
tribe of African, it's an African kingdom that
Okay.
this African kingdom never defended the rights of Africans. They were actually one of the biggest exporters of slaves.
Yeah, sounds about right. No, and you know what that's...
And the movie never brings that part up.
You know what it sounds like? And I'm about to use this term unironically, which is going to fucking label me by some people as an alt-right fucking sympathizer. It sounds like virtue signaling.
It is
It sounds
100%.
like intense virtue signaling from the people who made these films to get a certain demographic of people to side with them and buy their film.
The entire point of this movie was to get a second Black Panther. That was kind of the entire point, because they wanted some of the Black Panther money cake that
Black Panther got.
was. Unfortunately, they didn't do the research of the history, because
Or they did and just straight up ignored most of it.
probably. And you would think that the quote-unquote alt-right, white, cis, hetero, fascist were the ones making a big stink about this. No. Black Twitter hates this fucking movie. There's a
It shows you
hashtag...
that I don't spend enough time on
Yeah.
Black Twitter because I literally, again, never fucking heard of
Yeah,
this.
because you don't belong, whitey. Stay off Black Twitter.
Apparently I have.
I have the Black Twitter card. So there's a hashtag going around called hashtag boycott Woman King.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the biggest hashtags in Black Twitter history. Because well, it's easy to understand why, because, and the people who made this movie compare it to The Gladiator. These historic films that don't hold to history exactly. Like, Gladiator is about a guy who never existed, but it takes place and with people who did exist. The only difference...
What's the name of this film again?
The Woman King.
Woman King. Got it. Found it. Shockingly high reviews from Rotten Tomatoes and
That
Metacritic.
is another thing.
Yep.
The critics are terrified to complain about this movie because it's a movie about black women.
Yeah.
That's one of the most, you don't talk bad about these people at all.
Right.
And also, Rotten Tomatoes is totally making up the user reviews.
Of course.
That's 100% bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Because anybody who talks about movies hates this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Well, so the thing is, apparently the movie's okay. Like, how it's made and the plot. It's the historical significance that kills this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are having this debate of, well, if it's not true to life, like I was saying, The Gladiator, they trying to say it like this. The only difference between The Woman King and The Gladiator, they never tried to portray, what's the emperor's name? It's not Nero. Commodus. They never tried to portray Commodus as the good guy. And these female warriors are also extremely fucking brutal in real life. Like, full decapitation, bringing them to their kingdom. Mass execution of slaves for religious ceremonies. The whole 9 yards. So, and a lot of black people who live in America now, their ancestors were probably sold by this kingdom.
Yeah.
That's why people are like, fuck you guys.
Understandable.
Do you want to see the people who made this movie?
Was it a bunch of whiteys? It was a bunch...
I don't know, guess.
It was a bunch of fucking white women, wasn't it?
You nailed it on the fucking head.
J.K. Rowling looking ass.
It's two woke white women who are like, you know what that will get us super awesome good boy brownies? Mm-hmm. Making a movie about black women who are empowered and saving a country.
Yeah,
and they didn't do their research. Or if they did, so there's two ways to think about this. If they didn't do their research, they're just naive, stupid white women. Yeah. What a shocker. I couldn't even imagine that. Could you imagine a white woman making a mistake and acting really stupid? Holy shit. What a concept.
It's impossible. You stupid fucking white man, cishet, fucking fascist.
As far as
Nazi
you know, I'm
sympathizer. Black. Yeah, the very black Daniel. Daniel, the Black Daniel.
And if they did know about the history, they
intentionally
from the changed the entire... Oh, also, a lot of Europeans hate this movie as well, especially the English.
Yeah.
Because
the Queen was dying.
No. Because they portray the Europeans at the end of the movie as evil colonizers coming to take slaves, even though around this time, England was in a war to stop slavery.
But they were still colonizers. We can't fucking...
So they are, but they were stopping... They went to war to stop slavery.
Yeah.
That is a part of history you cannot just work around. The only reason why they were
This is the part where my historical acumen comes in because I also don't know about that, but I'm sure it's true.
This is
haven't looked
why
into it.
a lot of European countries are also extremely fucking pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Spain doesn't have room to talk. Or Portugal. But yeah, that was my topic. It's just fucking funny.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was just funny.
You know, like I said, this entire thing completely blew past me.
Mm-hmm.
I literally had no fucking idea because I've been too busy laughing about the death of the monarchy. Let's talk about the Queen.
Okay, so...
Can I just say that I do not give a fuck about the death of an imperialist fucking scumbag like the monarch.
Well,
like, fucking...
To be fair, like to say that they have any power is hilarious.
Yeah. Although, you know what she did do? She killed Princess Diana.
Yeah.
Like, can we all just fucking agree on that? That Queen Elizabeth is solely responsible for the death of Princess Diana. But who cares?
She was a princess, right?
Right.
So, John, on one hand, you're like, she killed Queen Diana. The other hand, fuck the monarchy.
Fuck the monarchy. But it wouldn't be so bad because Princess Diana was honestly kind of based. Mildly.
I don't know.
More so than Elizabeth the fucking II.
I don't know about the monarchy because guess what? I'm American. I don't give a fuck. We broke off of England 200 years ago for this exact reason.
You know, that reminds me of a fucking part.
Did you see that billboard in our town?
No.
There was an entire billboard about Rip the Queen.
Fuck that shit.
I'm just like, what the fuck?
Isn't
this America?
I would have put graffiti all over that shit.
It's one of those billboards that were an LCD screen.
I would have put graffiti all over that shit. Like, you know what we call that? As far as the other guys go, fucking allowing it to happen. Like, you should have bought more time so they couldn't have it.
Also, another funny part about this, like, I don't give a fuck about the Queen dying because I'm American and I'm from Montana. I'm nearly the furthest thing from England you can possibly get. There's only 3 other states, or no, 2 other states.
5, maybe 6.
From Montana to the West Coast.
To, like, Hawaii.
Oh, fair enough.
If you count Hawaii and Alaska.
We're nearly far away. We're pretty far from England, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But there is something that makes me giggle. So there's a bunch of liberal people in England protesting and saying, hey, we shouldn't even have a monarchy in the first place. I agree. And they're going to prison because they're offending people. How does it fucking feel, assholes?
You know, those are probably the well, they're definitely anti-monarch, obviously. Most people are and should be because monarchy is a form of absolute authority and has no place in the modern era.
Sure, whatever.
Bro.
Sure. They don't have any power. I'm not gonna.
Okay, true monarchs.
Well, yeah, obviously true monarchs, but these are figureheads, and I couldn't care either way.
I have no fucking idea. We're not about to argue about something that fucking pedantic.
Anyway, I just think it's funny because all of these like anti-monarch people are the same people who cheered and clapped when Count Dankula went to prison. I'm just like. How does it feel?
I never paid attention to the whole Count Dankula thing because I don't watch his stuff. I'm sure it's great. I don't watch anybody outside my circle. I really should extend my views more.
You should at least his Mad Lads of History are completely mostly apolitical. You would actually really like his because he is ANCAP as fuck.
right?
He is.
I need more ANCAP.
He is full. I don't want government at all.
Yep. So I've been working on this thing recently.
Yeah.
So for those of you not in the know, I'm going to point to my audience again. I'm currently working on, or actually, no, I've finished working on a political compass based video about the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate cast. And I actually learned a shitload about various different political ideologies and other kinds of things. And it's honestly been one of the most enlightening experiences of my entire life, despite the fact that it's about a video game. So, like, you learn a lot about ideologies that are completely opposite from yours, and also ideologies that kind of revolve around yours. Like, I've always just called myself a libertarian. What fucking kind? Are you a paleo-libertarian? Are you a green libertarian? A social libertarian? Exactly. What the fuck?
If I had to label myself, I'd probably label myself as a grilling libertarian.
Yes, I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. So yeah,
I just grill. I would like it if there was less government, but I'm not gonna blow up the country to make that happen.
You know what? That's fair.
I don't care enough.
I will.
I'm just like, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, whatever.
Right.
Life is meaningless anyway.
You are a nihilist, and I hate you. Like, can I just say that the only way to argue with the moral nihilist is to kill them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Please do.
Just saying. I mean, if you want, the rifle's right over there.
See, here's my thing. I'm not that nihilistic. That was mostly an act.
Yeah.
I
am acting. Please don't cancel me.
I do think that stuff should change. The world should be protected for the next generation. Mm-hmm. The biggest problem I have is that I just know the stats, and the stats aren't great for us.
Well, it's not bad to have ideals that you're passionate about. Like, that's where I stem from.
I do have ideals that I'm passionate about. It's just
that you're powerless to change them. Yeah, literally, that's what an ideal is. Like, you can have these ideals. It doesn't mean you can do anything about it, but hey, at least you know where you stand. And that's my whole justification for all of this shit.
Okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a hypocrite in the sense that I do, on one hand, I'm like, I'm not gonna, this irritates the shit out of me. Let me gather my thoughts real quick.
Refocus.
So a bunch of people online that I watch don't give a fuck about politics, which, fair enough.
Whatever, yeah. The whole thing with that mostly is just they're trying to distract from that kind of stuff.
They're trying to distract from it. They're trying not to... But at the same time, I think that you should at least have a basic understanding of...
I think...
Like...
Yeah. Well, I'll let you finish and then
yeah, like, I love this guy. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, Moist Critical.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those guys where I'm like, I don't want him to get political, but it would be nice if he would look into it just a little bit. Because he says a lot of shit that really irks the shit out of me because he's wrong on something, but...
he's the kind of guy that's not going to address it.
He's the kind of guy who doesn't give a shit, and that's the part where I'm like, you're popular... and you're talking to a big audience, you should know at least a little bit about what you're talking about.
I think one of the most important things that a person can know, and I wish that they would have taught us this shit in high school. Like, instead of civics class teaching us about history again, like a history class does, I think civics should teach us about political ideologies and terms and what they fucking mean. Like, what does it actually mean to be a Nazi? What does it mean to be a capitalist? What does socialism actually mean? Because, like, you want a welfare state? That's communism. It's like, no, it's not. Those are completely different things. Those are two almost ideologically opposed things, just about. Like, they really should have put the time in the public school system, but Here I go bitching about the public school system again. It doesn't fucking work.
It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I have my ideals, but I just want to grill.
Yeah.
Because it's like police reform. It's like, I've been watching the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix series.
Yeah.
The entire
get your own bodies. God.
From
You'll never unsee it.
Yeah, I know. From basically the courts down just needs a complete rework. Yeah. And it's never gonna fucking happen.
Well,
because that would require from above the courts down to shift, and nobody above the courts wants to change anything.
Well, one of the benefits of living in a great country like ours, here I am getting patriotic for the first and last time ever, is that we are legally allowed to protest this kind of shit, which is why I have these ideals. I want to see these changes, and I will actively fight for these changes, which is why I'm trying to, bolster my platform and give myself a voice however I can, whether it be through YouTube shenanigans or spreading the word through the music that I create.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lockdown, that song that we put out, is inherently a libertarian inspired song, and it's mostly from Alex and ours head during the height of the original fucking 2-week to flatten the curve lockdown shit that we had to all go through.
See,
like that kind of stuff, if it makes it big, people are going to notice. They're going to hear that and be like, yeah, that is kind of fucking stupid. Why did we let that happen? And then the word spreads further. It might not do anything, but then you get people who actually do have that kind of power, either hearing it themselves and thinking, yeah, that's probably a good point, or a person, just some random guy running for political office after having heard that, understanding it, and agreeing with it, doing something about it.
Yeah, sure. I'll say this. I'm happy that you think that way. I really am. I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I really do love that you believe that. You're a better man than me. I honestly believe that you're a better person than me. I just think the people in charge don't give a fuck about us. Honest to God, I just think that they're like, I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'm going to use you useful idiots to get what I want. Just look at the Democrats with the black vote. How long have they been just been fucked in these big cities run by Democrats? How long have the Democrats just promised everything and delivering nothing? Since the 60s.
So we have now moved on from nihilism to defeatism, which is an improvement. I honestly think that there is so much to benefit from by voicing your opinions. Like, you have opinions. We've talked about these opinions in the past. Yeah. Just it starts with talking about them. Like, this whole podcast is proof of that. Like, you and I have learned a lot from each other's beliefs, and honestly bolstered them a lot. And granted, we've kind of created an echo chamber of libertarianism, but hey, that's not a bad thing, because libertarians are based and everyone else is cringe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my whole stance on political, I guess,
activism
and oh my god, what's the name of the fucking song, or the fucking genre of music, just of rebellion, I guess is the word I'm looking for, but it's not really the word I'm looking for.
Punk?
Being punk as fuck, yeah, or something like that. There is a word I'm looking for. Protest. It is a form of protest. It is one of the most important forms of it. Is just voicing your opinion. Like, opinion pieces in fucking newspapers is one thing.
And
just Put it out there.
I'm on this podcast, obviously, and I voice my opinions.
Yeah, consistently.
Unfortunately, I just don't think it matters. I'll voice them, but I just think that I'm talking into the void, which talking into the void is fun. I like it. Yeah. I just don't think it's gonna fucking matter.
It's always good to at least understand that there is a point to all of this.
Yeah, just... but I actually have been getting a lot more optimistic because, well, sort of optimistic. I think here's me, totally black as I am.
Yeah.
Totally.
Looking...
I've been watching ever since I got into the Woman King drama. I actually been researching more and more into the black community and seeing what their views on the world is, and there's becoming a lot more black conservatives.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm like, it's a double-edged sword. They're not going to be voting for Democrats, but they're going to be voting for Republican, and that's
not helping us.
It's
not helping anybody.
No,
like, the longer that we,
I just wish that there was a third option to break the stalemate. But
oh my gosh,
if only there was.
There was a third party.
And here I go again, being my nihilistic self.
Fucking all it's going to take to get the fucking ball rolling is ranked choice voting. And it has been talked about.
No. I know exactly. Like, if we got that through, honest to God, I would be more optimistic about But, like,
who's going to vote for that?
Who's going to vote to put that in if it doesn't benefit one or the other? Or even both. Both of them are like, ooh, we don't want that.
All right. We don't want them to have a shot because that means that we can't win. Because we're greedy, selfish fucking bastards who've been running this country since the fucking beginning.
The only thing the two Democrats and Republicans agree on is that they need to keep the libertarians down.
Yep, and in conjunction with that, keeping us as the United States people down as well, consistently.
Yeah.
Unless you happen to be, a corporate fucking CEO or a police officer or a bootlicker or a fucking whatever, a state employed fucking agent. You had me
at police officer. I'm not a full Blue Lives Matter kind of guy, but I'm also not a full fuck the cops kind of guy. You are
somewhere in the center.
I'm very much in the center in the sense that there definitely needs to be police reforms, but I don't want to get rid of them altogether.
So that's where you and I definitely seem to differ. Differ, not completely opposite. I believe, at least in smaller towns and cities like all of the ones in Montana, that quite frankly, we do not need a police force.
You are wrong.
There are people in this town who... sheriff. Who elects the sheriff? Who elects the sheriff?
I don't even know.
The city council. Who elects them? Who the fucking knows? It's probably decided by maybe the mayor. Who the fuck elected the mayor? I mean, we did, but who knows who the fucking mayor is? Like, do you know the mayor of Billings?
I know it almost was, what was his fucking name? The guy who owns that used car lot. Freddie Fowler. I know that it almost was Freddie Fowler.
Oh my god.
Which...
God. Could have been anybody but him. But anyway, the sheriff is elected by a group of people that we don't fucking know. They are literally electing one of those powerful fucking people in the city, and we have no control over that. It's literally the presidency all the fucking fuck over again. Like, if the sheriff, like a true old-fashioned fucking sheriff running the goddamn show, elected by the people of the city of Billings, and not a fucking group of bureaucrats who got tossed in there by some overpaid fucking shitbag,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be so bad. And then he could elect his deputies, and then they could have a whole bunch of officers, and then they could be it. A group of citizens, armed citizenry, taking care of this fucking city and the towns,
I would say
being upheld by the people of the city. Because currently, the biggest thing about the police, qualified immunity.
Yeah.
That fucking makes me fume.
That's the part where I would take away that.
Yeah.
See,
honestly, that would be a great start.
Honestly, I think it's because I work downtown.
Mm-hmm.
We need police here. Mm-hmm. We honestly do.
That's fair. I'm just saying, if everybody carried a Glock,
no, we could have. I am for everyone having a Glock, and also
rocket launchers and tanks and planes and nukes.
Yeah, it's.
I am for all of those things.
Yeah, I'm not looking for anarchy, buddy.
Anarcho-capitalism. The dream can be real.
The dream could be real. I could buy a person.
See, you hit the fucking nail on the head. So, I'm briefly going to interject. So I'm not actually an anarcho-capitalist. As funny as that is.
It is funny.
Like
I actually read a lot of anarcho-capitalist
rhetoric and shit.
And it's the funniest shit on earth.
There is a YouTuber that you should follow. His name is Dreg. J-R-E-G.
Dreg.
He does political extremism comedy bits all the fucking time. And one of the most popular characters that he does is the ANCAP, and it is the most it's the most psychologically mind-melting shit I have ever seen. Because you can buy people.
Funny thing is, I've been playing a game called Cyberpunk 2077, which is ANCAP as fuck. The entire Night City is mostly. It's not full ANCAP, but a lot of it is.
You want to know what's a great ANCAP fiction world? Mad Max.
Yeah.
Which, again, not an ANCAP by any means. I'm closest to it, but there's actually a term for what they call people like me. Matter of fact, Jo Jorgensen, the last libertarian candidate that we have, she embodies all my beliefs. It's called a bleeding heart libertarian, which... Not a great fucking word for it.
No, because now I'm thinking bleeding heart liberal, and now
exactly. Now I'm a fucking
now I'm
sissy.
I'm against it.
But the whole bleeding heart terminology, that just comes from having socially left-leaning ideologies. That's literally all it is. Like pro-trans, pro-gay, all that shit. Literally all of that shit.
See,
but then I'm still fiscally right-wing.
See, I'm also like that with certain exceptions.
That's fair.
Especially with the... Oh, this is the part where John fucking hates me with the trans stuff. I have certain things that I'm not fully for, where some people are.
And we have definitely had these discussions before. And as far as you and I are concerned, I think that's like the only thing that we really disagree on.
I think that's literally besides like
the police thing.
The police thing. And there's only like a small couple, but nothing I would ever shoot you over.
We'll figure that out soon enough. You can reach your first, Daniel. Go!
Joke's on you. I have a pocket gun.
Joke's on you. I have debilitating self-esteem. But yeah, no. Fucking... It's really great. You should check out Drag on YouTube. He is one of the best.
I'll check him out.
He's also running for the mayor of a city in Canada, and he's got good odds right now.
Oh, wow. Canada.
And also he's like a psychopath still on his campaign.
Canada. Ugh. Yeah. That's enough.
Are we going to talk about Canada bashing? Hell yeah.
My dad's dating this girl right now. She's awesome. She asked me, have you ever been to Canada? And I just was like, ugh.
Ew. Like, she texts you, have you been there?
Ew. Why would I ever go to Canada? It's worse Montana.
It's
the entire country is
Minnesota.
Yeah, the entire country is worst America. It's America without all of its freedoms.
It's America, but no guns. And that's my biggest problem.
That's my biggest...
And also, instead of football, we have hockey. And I'm like...
That's
hockey,
pretty based.
Hockey's great, but
no,
I think I'd rather have American
Canadian
football.
hockey teams can go fuck themselves because they're super good.
Yeah, fair enough. Why do they always win the Olympics? That was not even Canadian.
That's Jamaican or South African, you idiot.
I was thinking like Swedish almost.
No,
I couldn't tell. In my own head, it sounded like something different. But
oh man,
Canada.
Canada.
Canasta. That's a card game I haven't played before.
So I'm two minds about this because Canadians themselves, and also I'll just say it now, French Canadians, based.
Yeah,
they are super based because they're Canadians who hate all the Canadians, even themselves. They hate themselves.
As long as they hate the British, they are fine by me.
They are based.
Yep.
This is why Scotland's based.
Scotland
and Ireland. Yeah.
Ireland's also great. You know, it makes me... Okay, I had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine today, and you know me, like, my diet consists of, like, nothing but fucking garbage, but he's like, where would you travel if you were given the opportunity? And I'm like, honestly? Laurel? Like, I the whole thing with travel is... an interesting facet to me because
speaking of which,
I've never been interested in traveling.
That's another topic I can bring up.
Yeah. But you were talking about Canada, and I'm thinking to myself, God, what's a fucking country that I would actually even want to be in?
Besides America.
Besides America, because America's great! Sometimes.
There's great parts about America.
There are things that I like. But I had to sit down and think about it for like 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm like, I can't think of anything but like Italy.
Italy's
and
pretty
literally...
based.
Just Italy. Like, England...
Oh, did you see that they elected a... I'm not... People are calling her far right, but
okay,
she is...
I did see this. This was on my newsfeed because it was the only thing on my feed for like 3 fucking days that, the Prime Minister of Italy... I thought she was the French... No, it is Italy.
Italy, yeah.
Is a woman, but she's also... apparently incredibly far right.
I know. How dare she?
I looked into her policies. She is a bit of a fucking crazy nationalist. Which nothing... Okay, there's a lot of things wrong with being like an uber nationalist. Like...
I hear that she joined a very super nationalistic thing when she was 15.
She's also currently the head of a far-right ultra-nationalist group. And like I said... nationalism in small doses, like the word for it is patriotism, is fine. But when you start going beyond patriotism, okay, so patriotism can be defined as, I'm proud of my country. There, you did it. You're good.
Yeah.
You get an A. Nationalism is like, I love my country and I hate other countries. When you start getting into ultra-nationalism, I'm like, I think that my country is the best, and anybody from any other country is inferior and should be wiped away from my fucking country.
Right after John said, there is no country I want to go to.
I don't know. My whole thing is that okay. Before we get to let me tangent. I'm gonna tangent real quick.
No, you're not going. We're not going anywhere. You nationalist.
No, I'm an ultra nationalist. I'm a reactionary nationalist. No.
If I go to any other country, I'm burning it down.
I'm bringing the nukes with me.
If you see me in your country, run.
If you see me in your country, it's too late. No, my whole thing is that whenever you travel to another country, you want to eat the food. You want to enjoy their cuisine and their stuff.
And you're a garbage gut.
I am a garbage gut.
You're a garbage gut in the opposite idea of you only eat garbage.
I just eat garbage.
I am the garbage gut in the sense that I eat anything.
Yeah. I will literally...
Besides seafood.
I recently discovered that my diet currently consists of 4 things.
Yeah.
Pizzas, fries, water, which...
Milk.
Soda's gone. Water is in. Pretty good.
Dairy. You eat a lot of fucking dairy.
I get a lot of dairy. Which is the only thing in my body that is probably any good for me. So my bones are good. Or
Well,
my
to be fair, all of the dairy you take in is
either
ultra
cheese,
processed.
hyper processed cheeses.
And
But-
also ice cream.
And ice cream. I love me some fucking
Yeah,
Baskin
no,
Robbins.
The only reason you're not 300 pounds is because you don't eat all the time.
I also work a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
that's true.
my job consists of walking around 9 hours a fucking day. But when I come home on my weekends, I'm sitting on my ass in front of this computer. So, getting
wrong
back
with that?
to
What's wrong with that?
nothing. But getting back to this fucking gal.
Go ahead, go.
So yeah, she is a pretty crazy nationalist, and also socially falls again pretty far right. So yeah, she's definitely right winging. I wouldn't call her a fascist.
No,
At
that's
least
the part where I'm like,
she's-
no.
Okay, political compass. I have it right here actually on our thing.
You
So-
can't say it, but fuck you.
Yeah. So it's currently facing the wrong fucking direction, but either way,
I can turn my
top right.
head.
Yeah. So this would be your authoritarian right. She probably goes like obviously nationalism falls on the far right.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, more of an authoritarian ideal. She probably falls right around here. She is close.
I thought authoritarian is on the top.
No, it is. But currently, I'm looking at this in its current position.
Okay.
So if that was the case, if you're looking at it,
Oh yeah.
she
Okay,
is-
okay.
she-
I get it.
she
Okay.
is right in there.
Which
She's pretty authoritarian, pretty far right, but not nearly as much as people are comparing her to fucking Mussolini.
yeah, I
She's
think
not. She's not.
she
Mussolini.
is not Mussolini.
No.
I think, and also, here's my thing. Here's my thing. I'm just gonna say this. Anyone who's pissed about this, and I don't know the people in Italy who are pissed at this. I don't know because I'm not Italian. Just like I don't give a fuck about the Queen.
Fair enough.
But anyone who's in America pissed at this,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Admittedly, it is really fucking dumb when people from other countries bitch about.
Here's my biggest.
people's
Here's one of
elections.
my biggest things that I hate about America is that we give too much of a shit about other countries.
But the Queen.
But the Queen! Oh my
No.
god, she's a nationalist! Who fucking cares? That's the Italians' problem to deal with.
Well, see, this is when the world police thing comes back into play.
and I hate that
I hate
about
that
America.
too.
That's the part. That's probably my biggest thing I hate about America is that we think that we own the world.
Yep.
And we need to solve everybody's fucking problem, and we don't.
Right.
Who elected us as king of the universe? Who elected us as the police of the world?
We did.
That's true.
We elected us. But believe it or not, she's actually been really popular in a lot of these elections.
Exactly.
Like the reason that she won the
There's
election
a reason why she won.
is because people elected her.
Maybe because
Maybe because
I'm gonna-
people want nationalism again. I don't know.
Maybe
Which is weird. Very weird.
Here's where people are going to get mad at me. Maybe it's because a lot of people are sick of liberals. Maybe we're all fucking sick of fucking liberals telling us what to do with our lives.
To be fair, you make a good point. So currently, the whole world has kind of been running under one general political ideology, minus like the extreme outliers like Russia, China, North Korea. Obviously, totalitarian states. It's a term called neoliberalism, and whenever you hear the word liberal, generally people will think, "Oh,
Gay.
left-leaning sissy fucking bitches who are gay and stuff."
F word.
Generally,
I can't
not
say
true.
that, but-
Matter of fact, the liberal term, honestly, like back to the compass. Liberals like fall here. That is it. They don't occupy any space further than that. Like there are
See,
modifiers that
a
you
lot
can
of
put on that word, but ultimately it doesn't change much.
My thing is, I would love to be a liberal,
yeah,
but I don't.
you
I think the
you don't
term.
believe that.
I think the term has been co-opted too much to the point where it's gone.
It's the same thing with conservative. Like when people hear conservatives, they're thinking
like
way the fuck up
there's
here.
when you think.
You want to know where conservatives actually fall on the compass? Right here.
Yeah, like
Literally right
normal liberals.
Yeah.
I would
Ow.
You asshole.
Liberals and conservatives are fundamentally opposed. Yes, they are just as far from the center of the compass as each other. But and because they're on opposite sides, they're both barely moderates.
Yeah.
Hardly. Like a better word for most liberals today, like the more aggressive ones, would be progressives. And then conservatives, you'd probably call them...
I do hear that term being thrown out more and more.
Okay, yeah, and progressive, getting back onto learning a lot from this whole fucking stupid-ass nonsense that I did for the last 3 weeks.
By the way, where's Little Mac in that?
Little Mac, his whole placement was a funny little joke that I made about myself when I was in high school, because canonically, he is 17 years old. I put him right here.
Oh, there he is.
A little bit left of center and a little authoritarian. I made him a moderate socialist because I'm like, that's where I was when I was in fucking high school, literally at the exact same age.
Yeah, he's a bit too young to even know about anything.
Well, like, even with the Inklings, I made them like giga hippies, but since they're still kids, they're not quite there yet, so they get to go there. But progressives generally is just a more extreme version of a liberal in the traditional sense.
And to communist, progressives are useful idiots.
Right, exactly. And that's another fucking thing. So when people think conservatives, they're actually thinking of what's called a reactionary. And reactionaries are just what people are actually thinking of. They are the alt-right. They are far right-wing, not necessarily nationalists. Like, literally, reactionaries can be anywhere on the right side, on the far right side of the compass. But they also see conservatives as not being extreme enough. They see them as fucking idiots. They're like, you stand for nothing and I hate you.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things.
Fucking everybody hates the center.
Yep. Anti-centrism gang, which, back to Shrek, he does a whole series on that shit. It's super great. But, yeah, no, I love political discourse. My favorite. Like, this...
That makes one of you.
Honestly, whenever we're not talking about, like, just entertainment media as a whole, which I love having those discussions, this is my passion.
Yeah,
politics is my passion.
I also really like politics.
Yeah. And not because I'm like, oh, I want to argue. It's like, no, I want to learn.
Yeah.
Like, this was all educational.
See, and that's kind of why I like talking to you, man. Because we do have certain problems that we're like, I don't agree with you on this. You probably have stuff that you're like, you're an idiot about this.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we can just go, you want to play Smash Brothers now?
Fuck yeah, dude. Also, my Switch isn't here, so we can't play Smash. Unless you want to play Melee.
Cringe.
Aw, you fag. You can't say that, we're on Twitch.
Oh, that's another thing that's blowing up right now.
Yeah, the whole Twitch fucking
killing themselves.
Cutting people's revenue if they're making over this much money.
YouTube will just win now.
Yeah, YouTube's already won, even though they're making things so much worse for creators like Summoning Salt, who does world record progressions for video game speedruns. Honestly, very fascinating content, but he recently put out a video for a Mega Man 2 world record progression. Got age restricted. Unage restricted like 4 days later. And then 6 minutes later, age restricted again.
That's fucking weird.
And it has been ever since.
For what game?
Mega Man 2. Does he say some gamer words? No. No one does. There was one random Twitch clip that he put in there from a person speedrun where they said fuck like 6 times in a matter of like 5 seconds.
That's weird.
And that is some of the only swearing in the entire video. This is an hour and 15-minute long video, by the way. And there's like 19 swear words per this 12,000 word script.
That is weird.
And that got it age restricted. But then you get videos like AVGN's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video, which is like 10 times the amount of swear words, and it's still not age restricted. And I'm not saying age restrict the AVGN. Far from it. I love his videos.
I think you and I both go, don't restrict us at all.
Yeah. Well, like, why age restrict shit? Like, why make that a thing?
Because guess what? It's not gonna fucking work anyway, because kids aren't technologically stupid. They know how to get around that shit.
Right, it's not difficult. Like, yeah, a boomer's gonna spend 40 minutes trying to figure out how to sign into their fucking Gmail account so they can check out how to pay for their prophylactics, whatever the fuck those are. I don't know what a prophylactic is, I'm going to be honest with you. But a kid can literally fucking hack the fucking CIA in like 6 minutes.
Oh, that's another thing we could talk about. A lot of shit has been happening, and I kind of like it.
Gee, maybe because over the last 6 months we haven't done shit.
Well, not even the last 6 months, just the last week.
Yeah, do we want to talk about them?
The Rockstar hack?
Oh, well, that too. The fucking GTA 6.
What other
hack? No, not a hack. I'm talking about our good old buddies on the other side of the planet.
I don't
fucking Russia.
Well, there is one thing that I'm a little worried about is that Ukraine is put in their files for joining the NATO, which I'm like, NATO has to reject that, because if they don't, that's World War III.
Yeah, guaranteed. I'm just saying, if the FBI wants to come and arrest me, I'll dodge the draft for you. I'll do it for free.
I am 26, so I'm already out.
Yep.
And also, I don't think the draft is even a thing anymore.
Well, selective service.
I think if there is World War III, it's going to be fought with drones, if not nukes. I don't even think they're going to even...
be a problem.
I don't even think they're going to... Because nukes are, like, the stupidest... Like, I've always said it, it's the stupidest thing in the world, where...
Do you remember who we're up against?
That's true.
Fucking Vladimir Putin,
fucking
literally
psychopath.
The 5 IQ having totalitarian fucking ruler of the fucking Russian world. Like, honestly, what a fucking... what kind of fucking dirtbag made this guy?
Do you think NATO's going to reject Ukraine just on the sheer fact that...
If they know any better, probably. Knowing that it's NATO, and they probably want to see heads roll just as much as Russia does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who fucking knows?
Who fucking knows?
Because I'm kind of on the side of... They can't be that stupid.
No.
They can't be that stupid.
I certainly hope not.
Because from what I have heard about the war in Ukraine is that I'm not very caught up. You're probably more caught up than I am.
Mildly, I've been trying to ignore it. This stuff actually does kind of depress me.
From what I've heard, that the fighting is slowing down in the sense that Ukraine is using a fuck ton of drones and it's working for them.
Yeah. Well, honestly, why? Because some of the Russian people are just giving up on Vladimir Putin, as they fucking should be.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of... at this point, if I was a Russian, lay on my arms, fucking surrender. Fucking take me, Ukraine. Fucking go for it.
Oh, no, I'm going to the West.
Oh, no, I'm going to a first world country, finally. I wouldn't necessarily
from what I
Ukraine
hear,
first world,
I think Putin is holding out until the winter, and then he's probably going to just ask for a ceasefire.
Yeah.
But this is an optimistic guy who's talking about this, and who fucking knows? He's a fucking psychopath.
I think someone just needs to put him and everybody else out of their fucking misery. Like, the sooner that he's fucking gone, the better. But then you have to worry about their 2 friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
Like I said, that's like one of the few things that like actively fucking depresses me. It's like, I don't fucking...
Like I said, I like grilling.
Yeah.
Whatever happens,
you know what?
It's so far away, I don't give a fuck.
Right. Until it shows a better doorstep. But...
Which...
who knows?
Listen, whoever shows up to America's front doorstep, they're stupid as fuck.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be people that show up. Could always be missiles. Of any caliber. Like I said, it's Vladimir Putin. He doesn't give a shit. He's over it just as much as we are.
I don't know. Anyway.
Wow. Let's not end this on a dour note. Like, goddamn.
Okay, here's a positive note. Let's talk about a supervolcano. Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And how it'll probably never explode.
No, it's never going anywhere. I
think we've watched the same video.
The exact same video that fucking... the one with the little 2 circle guy. Yep. Fucking... I love that goddamn art style, by the way.
And also, he's a fucking... I don't know... I haven't watched enough of... Because he's only made, like,
I've watched
6
a few
videos.
of his other videos. He is a hardcore gigalib. The Helen Keller video,
Yeah, he's
gigalib.
He's a lib.
But you know what? That's fine.
Listen,
Honestly, I listen to more liberals, left-leaning people. I can't call them
Speaking of
liberals.
which, what is your view on Helen Keller? Do you think she actually... No.
I think she was definitely deaf and blind. I think that
No, in the sense of, do you think she fully understood what she was talking about?
I mean, considering that she could read, she could write, she could understand, it doesn't take a fucking monkey to understand socioeconomic policies and
fair enough,
and workers' rights. Like, and that's another thing that I fall far left on is fucking unions and workers' rights. You know, all that shit. It's important.
I hate unions. I'm one of those guys who are like, unions keep stupid people in power.
I mean, fair enough. But no, I think Helen Keller knew what she was talking about.
Yeah,
I think she...
I agree with you.
Yeah. I think that anybody who says otherwise is kind of just either missing the point, don't like the fact that she was socialist, and just want to keep her as this rose-tinted fucking... No, she overcame her struggles, and
to be fair...
that was it. And I'm like, no.
And to be fair, before anyone believes that we've changed, fuck socialism.
Yeah. The daily reminder, fuck communists.
Mm-hmm.
Socialism, again, fuck them, but
they're
like I said,
they're better than communists, but not much. Communists also view them as useful idiots.
So another interesting way to look at the compass. Communism falls far, far left and far, far authoritarian, literally as far as you can get. The general word for it is Marxism, Leninism, depending on what
I
version.
prefer Stalinism.
Yeah. Jesus Christ!
Kill everybody.
Socialism is basically just non-state communism, like
that's gonna fucking work.
Well, so communism. You keep hearing that it doesn't work, and so far it hasn't. But that's because they keep trying it in these big fucking places like Russia, a home of like 1 billion fucking people. Like, communism will work in like small communes of like 4 or 5 people, and then that's it. And then it would just work. You can't have a bunch of fucking people.
Even then, I would say I don't think it would work.
4 or 5. That's just a family unit.
Because I don't think it would work either. Because fuck you, I want to own my shit.
Yeah, understandable.
Eat my ass.
It honestly depends on who you have. Like, if you just gotta
see, and that's my thing.
Group of like-minded echo chamber fucking people, then it would work.
That's my thing. No. Even then, I think they would start eating each other eventually.
They don't seem to have a basic understanding of...
I mean,
That's why John Lennon was a fucking idiot.
Yeah, John Lennon was a fucking moron.
Like, don't get me wrong, great songwriter, fucking probably a good guy, but...
No, John Lennon was a piece of shit.
I don't give a fuck about the Beatles, honestly. Like,
I like the Beatles. Like, I love their songs, them as people. Besides Ringo and the one that's still alive, the other one that's still alive.
Aren't 3 of them still alive?
No, there's only 2.
I think it's Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. He had his moments where he was a bit of a dick, and I don't know the other. I just know that.
I was actually just about to say that. Everybody calls Ringo the 4th Beatle, but does anyone actually remember the 3rd Beatle's name? Because I do. Just barely. George Harrison.
Yeah.
I don't
George.
think anybody actually remembers that.
From what I hear,
it's
George was the second one who wrote most of their songs.
Most of the songs were Paul and John. Paul and John. They did like 90% of the songs. I think George only ever did maybe in like half an album's worth, and then Ringo did maybe 3 or 4 songs, including some of the less popular ones. Like, a lot of his stuff people didn't seem to like, which is why he didn't get to do a whole lot.
No,
that's why he's the drummer.
Rip to my homies.
Okay, that was weird. I don't know. My mic wasn't capturing for a minute there.
Uh-oh.
That could be fun.
That's probably not good.
Oh, well. I'll fix it later. I'll fix it in post, like I always fucking do.
I was talking about the
socialism communism thing.
The
Beatles.
No. The demilitarized zone in Seattle.
Oh, it's got a weird name. Oh, fuck, why can't I think of the fucking name?
I don't know, but that's basically...
We're going to call it Sofa Land. Because we're going to call it Sofa Land.
Yeah, so I think that would happen to socialism or communism, that they would just eventually kill each other.
Okay, so now we're misconstruing socialism and communism. So, like I said, communism is just statist, hardcore statist fucking, socialism. Socialism is socialism without the state. Or without reference to a state. Like, it can exist with or without a state. It's not necessarily something that is important. Like, think of like a welfare state, but slightly more welfare. Like
hell,
like everybody gets welfare.
I
now.
hate that.
Yeah,
I
do too.
that.
I do too. But instead of people getting like checks from their work, they just get checks from the government, and they're all the same, and everybody does work, and that's it. But they come from the state.
That is fundamentally flawed.
Yeah, but communism, the whole thing with that is that you take what you so the fucking I think it's you take what you need, you give what you can, and you take what you need. And that's like their whole thing. And it doesn't fucking work that way because you also get fucking people like, who's a fat guy I can pick on right now? Bully fat people. See, now I'm following socially right.
Oopsie.
Where's my bottle? There's my bottle.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get fat guys.
That's the fundamental difference between socialism and communism is the existence of the state. That is the only severe difference. Communism is consistently, objectively, and meaningfully and required to be a far left, far authoritarian thing. It has to have the existence of a strong state before inevitably, or according to Marxist theory, it is supposed to dissolve and the people are just supposed to live in fucking flower fields. Like yeah, exactly. It's a fucking utopian ideal. I understand the premise. I understand the desire for it, but the problem is that fundamentally it just doesn't work. Like, I understand the want for it.
Yeah.
Like, that would be fucking awesome. Can you imagine if people
that's my
didn't
thing.
have to work?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, yeah, we all wish that communism worked. Nobody, well, a handful of people.
There are those weirdos who like me, on campus, who want that to work. Because it
sounds
great. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have pieces of shit in this world.
Yeah. Like, and unfortunately, okay. Are you ready for a step-by-step guide to communism from an anarcho-capitalist? Let's go. So,
we're going hard on this first episode on the new platform.
So, fundamentally, how it's supposed to work is that there's supposed to be a group of people, the people, after, for example, a violent revolution after overthrowing the Tsar of Russia. Who would have guessed? So they have to put a person into power. This is in Marxist theory. This is written in the manifesto.
And there's the problem.
There's the problem. Exactly. But moving on from that, you put a person into power and he is supposed to stabilize the situation with the help of the people that he chooses. And then eventually, once it has stabilized, they are supposed to step down. And there is the second fundamental issue with this.
I will say this right now. I've actually researched Marx. He's a real fucking asshole. Because he was a bum who basically lived off of the kindness of his family. he is literally. There's a reason why so many rich, liberal, white people absolutely love Marx, because he is the template.
He's them. Yeah.
For them, because they also don't want to do work but get paid doing it.
Yeah. Well, let's look back on the little diagram that I've kind of laid out here that you definitely can't see. Fundamentally, it can't work because the two big steps that are required is electing somebody who is not a complete psychopath, which consistently has been a problem for these people.
You know, it's kind of a problem because communism attracts psychopaths.
Generally. And then that person has to inevitably, once things finally work out, which so far it has never gotten to that point, they need to step down. And again, this goes back to a point that I brought up earlier. It's because these are massive fucking populations. Let's say hypothetically that everything does work out. They finally stabilize everything, and then the person gets to the point where they can step down. Even if they do, how long is that going to last for a population that is well over 1 billion people?
And
if it was under 5,000, it would be self-sustaining, and that would be easy.
Even then, if there was, they stepped down, the miracle of miracles. 1, you don't put in power a psychopath. 2, he doesn't elect other psychopaths. 3, they actually step down. This is the biggest miracle of all mankind.
Okay.
It takes one psychopath to ruin it all.
That's true. And that's kind of what we ran into with our good old pal Joseph Stalin, which I'm sure you know more about than me.
That was kind of more of a step 2 problem because Lenin elected him.
Yeah, that was Lenin's
fault.
What
I'm talking about is the 3 steps go through, and just someone out of the blue gathers an army and just steamrolls everything.
Yeah. And that's all it takes is one guy with bad intentions to fuck everything up. And it's the same thing for every extreme ideology. All of them.
I've researched the Communist Manifesto. Unfortunately, I haven't read it yet. It's one of those books that's on my list because if I'm going to criticize it, I better fucking read it. But I know that
Did you know that Marx is pro-gun?
Huh? Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Unfortunately, that's another problem because how do you enforce everything if everybody has a gun? And how do you enforce you can't own that if I have a gun?
Yeah.
How are you going to enforce no, fuck you, get off my land?
Well, that's why everybody else has guns. And then things accidentally fall from the far left authoritarian to the heavenly ANCAP.
It takes one person going, no, this is my land, fuck off. And then another person going, hey, that's a good idea. I can grow wheat on my land and keep everything for myself.
Right.
I don't have to give it to other people. Fuck other people.
Right. Well, fundamentally then, what would probably happen in the ideal situation, according to theory, is those people would either be ousted from that civilization, they would be forced to live out on their own, do their own thing, and then have at it. Have a fucking blast. Or they would be arrested by the peacekeepers, which would inevitably be people with authority. Yeah.
The government, which communism is against at the end.
Yep, supposed to be.
And the funny thing is, they get kicked out. What do you think they're going to do when they get kicked out? Probably group up.
Yep.
And probably they get real pissed. And then they go kill you.
Yep. And that's why
communism is fucking retarded from the ground up.
Yep. Fundamentally, it is flawed. And like I said, when you get the one bad apple in the batch, it ruins everything. Because the ideals of, like, for example, the N word, where I'm just going to say it's fucking Nazism because we're far enough into the video where it's not going to get noticed. The problem with that fundamentally is that the purpose and existence of that is meant to bolster state security and morale among the people of that nation, because it's nationalism. It's the whole thing. The whole socialism part of the nationalism thing, by the way, only applies to the people of the nationalist group. Like, when people constantly say, well, it's actually socialism, so it's actually a far left idea. It's like, yeah, but the nationalism takes major precedence.
Yeah.
Like, if you are not of that nation, you don't get the benefits of socialism or are ignored. You are killed.
Well, yeah. And
yeah, so it's not,
I just think
like, Nazism is not a leftist thing. Not remotely. Not even close. At most, it falls here.
Yeah.
It is still on the right. Because
technically it is called socialism, but that's big giant air quotes.
Yeah.
They
like, supposedly.
See, and here's my thing.
Okay.
Let's talk about Vosh real quick. Because Vosh is a fucking moron, psychopath.
I don't know the first thing about Vosh. I'm gonna let you take control of the conversation.
Anyway, so Vosh is classified as, he calls himself a socialist.
Mm-hmm.
Most people who's in the know goes, that's total bullshit. He's a full-on commie.
Mm-hmm.
His whole thing is, he always talks about people-owned companies as a socialist idea. And even that...
Like, does he mean owned by the workers, or does he mean by an individual, not a corporation?
No, he is for the workers owning a company. And even then, that is stupid.
To him, or
to me?
Okay.
I don't...
I just want to make sure we're clarifying for me.
I don't think that would work.
Understandable. The whole thing with worker-owned things, worker-owned companies, again, it kind of falls into the whole labor unions thing, which you are fundamentally against, supposedly, is that in the event that something goes wrong, this is the whole thing with, like, renters taking care of their own homes and shit like that. If something goes wrong, who's responsible?
Yeah.
Who is in charge of the situation at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're in a group of a union,
if it's a union,
it would just be the union boss. But who's the union boss?
Because that's my biggest problem with it, is that if something fucks up, who's needs to take over?
Mm-hmm.
If it's no one, you need to gather the entire company together and democratically
choose somebody.
Not even just choose, but even if you want to go full no leader whatsoever,
delegate parts of the responsibility to the random,
or just have a giant vote of what we should do. It will take fucking forever to do anything.
Yeah, and that's understandable too.
And when you elect someone, what's stopping them from just going, fuck this, I'll go make my own company since I know how to do it?
Hookers. No, and that makes sense too.
And then he can poach from this company, and
then we're left with slim pickings. But also, we call that competition. We're getting back to Ancapistan.
yeah.
So, I want to briefly touch a few more things about how one bad apple can destroy an entire ideology fundamentally. So, obviously, communism. We have guys like Joseph Stalin, Pol Pot. The entirety of the North Korean fucking regime, literally all three of them, and probably for assuming that Kim Jong-un has been dead for a while.
I'm not even saying, like, I have giant problems with capitalism. I'm not gonna stand here and say,
like, as a person who self-identifies as an ANCAP, capitalism is another fundamentally flawed ideal, especially if unregulated, and I'm a person who's like strictly against regulations and shit like that. But there's corporations,
and corporations are just
are scary.
They're
terrifying because, especially if they get into political power, like some of them have now. Like, this is what most people on the left will call late stage capitalism. Granted, some of those people will also just contribute all capitalism to late stage capitalism. That's fundamentally fucked up, and stop fucking misconstruing the truth. Capitalism by itself is not a bad thing, especially for like small town mom and pop shop owners or people who just want to sell their goods for profit, for capital.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. But when you get into people who are
owning, like,
gouging other people,
they have the
to destroy
GOP
the competition
of a small country.
Yeah. The GDP.
Disney.
Yeah.
Disney. Oh,
I
God.
think they have the higher GDP than the fucking American fucking continent. The North American specifically, not the South American.
Maybe.
I have more GDP than the South American continent.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would have to look into that.
That's
but
probably fair. But
it's definitely up there.
Yeah, but as far as, capitalism in general, unfiltered, unregulated, yeah, probably not a good idea. We probably should have some regulations to control monopolies. Like, can you fucking imagine monopolies in the current day where the only entertainment industries are from Disney exclusively, all of the cars are from Ford, and there are no imports from places like Toyota or fucking stuff from the European fucking country? Like, that would be terrible.
I know.
All of the food comes from McDonald's. The only grocery store that you can go to is fucking Walmart. Like,
speaking of Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, what a fucking hellscape.
Yeah.
So, I make the joke that I'm an ANCAP, but it's important to regulate on a level.
See, and that's why you and I both are like, there definitely has to be a government. There can't be no government unless you want to live by yourself in the middle of the fucking woods. Which
by all means, go for it. I would love to do something
but
like that.
Unfortunately,
I can't live like that.
I can't live like that either.
I would love to. I'd love to say that I can.
Count Dacula, he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who's like, no, I don't want there to be a government at all. I want to live by myself in the middle of the grid. Off the grid.
More power to him. If he can sustain that, then that is fucking awesome.
He lives in the UK. He can't do that.
He's not allowed to.
He's not allowed to do that.
Yeah, the state will find him and they will shoot him. Or they'll arrest him and hit him with a baton because they don't have guns over there. Woohoo! Fucking low blow. Ooh. So we get shot here because that's what we do.
That's what we do here in America because we're not pussies.
We don't believe in being cunts or twats.
Yeah.
We're not twats.
But yeah.
But then, just hitting lib left. So their whole thing is fucking hippies and rebellion and anarchy. They are true to form anarchists. They are for
anarchists are a fucking wild bunch.
They're fun.
I'm not even talking about just like socialist anarchists. I'm talking about just anarchists in general. They're fucking bizarre.
They are cool though. I love them. So what
you can think that definitely.
What you would get down here is this is late stage communism. This is what they want. Anarcho-communism is the term for it. And it is essentially
by the way,
the end goal.
Do you know Chumbawamba?
I think
they're a band.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Chupa Pops. Which is a candy.
They're a band who
they're Chupa Lips. I don't know.
They made a song that was in the late 90s, early 2000s that was super poppy, super everywhere. They are anarcho-communist.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because their biggest song has nothing to do with that.
Sometimes that will happen. Sometimes bands will really hard focus on the politics thing, and then the one time they don't.
The one time they're like, let's just make a stupid fun song just to fill it in there.
Yep. It becomes a one-hit wonder, and then the rest of their discography goes completely unnoticed or completely bastardized.
Yeah, Chumbawamba is one of those bands.
It happens to
Listen,
I
don't agree with them, but it kind of sucks that... It kind of sucks that their message kind of just got buried underneath this one. Honestly, great song, but at the same time, it's something that you would never hear from them ever again.
Right. So, I want to briefly touch on the authoritarian right side one more time. So, like I said, Nazism, that's a whole thing. But like I said, that's more reactionary right, far authoritarian. If you want to go far right, far authoritarian, you're looking at what's what's deemed as absolute monarchy. True to form, like, I am the king or I am the queen. I decide what goes and what doesn't, who dies and who doesn't.
How many countries do we have that nowadays? I know
absolute monarchies?
Is it
none? They do not exist.
Yeah, I think they got mostly knocked out.
So the UK still is a monarchy, and we call them puppets, but there's a term for it. It's called a constitutional monarchy. She is still in control. Matter of fact, the monarch, just in general, is, but they're also bound to a very specific set of rules drafted by the House of Parliament, the Constitution of the UK, or whatever the fuck it is.
The quote-unquote Constitution.
Yeah, whatever they call it. They probably call it the Crumpets and Biscuits of the Week, or fucking, I don't know. I don't like British people.
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper of the week. We
They're-
buy a new one every single time.
From what I hear, they're
every time a monarch dies, I get a new one.
Yeah. From what I hear, their constitution is fucking bullshit.
Supposedly. But like the bad eggs that you're gonna get out of that is obviously, fundamentally, it's just a bad idea. Like a fucking far right nationalist, fucking uber authoritarian, fucking monarchy regime type deal. Yeah, of course,
it's a really stupid idea.
But of course, when your power is endowed to you by God Himself, you certainly feel like you should be a monarch. So you get people like early monarchs of England, like Charles the fucking First or Henry the Second or fucking whoever, like literally whatever. You'll get those people, and they'll fuck everything up. Because
I'm also kind of a history guy. I do a lot of history. From what it sounds like, a lot of the kings of England were total fuck ups.
Oh yeah, consistently. Like if they weren't busying themselves with taking over countries that didn't fucking belong to them, they were fucking other people's women and laying siege to their own people because I gotta quell a rebellion. Like fucking Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another one of those fundamental things that just doesn't work. Most of the extremes just don't work because
I will say from what I mean, mine is, I think, I was about to say the monarchy worked the longest out of, like, the extreme, but it was helped out by the extreme church.
Well, okay, so look at it this way. Whenever we talk about the monarchy like that, that's an absolute theocratic monarchy, and then things kind of get a little complicated because then it becomes even farther right somehow. So
somehow they go off the board.
We go off the compass somehow. But no, at that point, like, okay, think about it this way.
Like, the Dark Ages were fucking crazy times.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whenever you live in a monarchy, you are a person being dictated by one fucking asshole who you will never see, who you pay taxes to, so that way he can fund his lush, luxurious lifestyle where he fucks bitches and rolls around in a castle like a fat fuck.
Pretty based.
Pretty based. But it's also a complete fucking nightmare because if what's the word I'm looking for?
Surf?
No, whenever your crops all die.
Oh, famine.
Oh, yeah, if the famine rolls through your fucking town, good luck. The monarchy has no need of you now. You are now worthless to them. So you die unless you move to a different village somewhere and hope to God that they also haven't been affected by famine. Like, that's where the problem rolls in. Most of these are horrible for the average person. Like, they're great for the guys who benefit from it. Like, anarcho-capitalism, anybody who can benefit from late-stage capitalism, great. Good for them.
Whoever owns a company, fucking amazing.
Yeah. If you happen to be white, then fucking monarchy works great for you. Unless you live in a black monarchy, which you didn't get very often. You just kind of got...
No, South Africa had a ton of them, and
okay, probably, but they probably wouldn't be deemed absolute monarchies. They probably have like a weird suffix you have to throw on it.
There were actual monarchies in Africa.
Well, yeah, but monarchy is one term, and it also could be again defined by absolute, constitutional, theocratic, all kinds of shit. There's so many fucking words you can like that. That's the biggest problem with this whole fucking thing is there are so many prefixes and suffixes.
That's from what I hear. This entire setup, the four-cornered political compass.
Yeah,
it's
fundamentally flawed
because there's so many.
If you were to do a 3-dimensional political compass, then it would be a little easier to do that because fundamentally, a person like me, far right on most issues, except for social issues, which I fall pretty far left on. Unfortunately, on a fucking one-way axis.
It's hard
far right, far left. But why am I here as barely a moderate?
Yeah,
I'm pretty far on most issues, on every issue. But because I oppose on those issues, I can't be there. So if you create a 3-dimensional one, I can go far right, and then now I'm far forward, and now I'm also far down. So I'm over here, which can be shown better in a 3D compass. But those are also really hard to make.
It's just me in the center grilling.
Yep, I'm grilling in 4D space. I think we're gonna call it there.
Man,
grilling.
What a fucking episode to start out on our new channel, huh?
That was a fucking nightmare. It was almost 2 hours of political ranting and other fun topics.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like I said, wouldn't have it any other way.
Welcome to our show. That's what we fucking do here.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't like it, we got other things on this channel that you'll probably like.
Maybe, if I ever get them out.
Yeah, maybe. You fucking asshole.
Hey.
Okay.
I don't see you uploading nothing.
Well, that's because I don't have my fucking pooter yet.
Well, get to it.
I'll get my fucking pooter.
Good.
Anyway. Like, share, comment. That'd be awesome.
Share it to your friends on Google Plus and Tumblr.
That would be very nice because this is a new channel. We're starting basically completely from scratch. And it would just help out not only me and John here, but the entire channel.
Because we're all going to hopefully make money.
Hopefully. Anyway,
welcome
we'll talk to you later.
Ancapistan.
Bye.